Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to do a question-answer process, Noni, okay?
Okay.
And I think we talked about this before, but it might be 25 minutes, it might be less. Let's see how it goes. But the key thing here is that we'll only make statements in response to questions.
Okay.
So you can ask questions, I can ask questions. But if someone starts making a statement and there wasn't a question, one of us goes, what question are you answering?
Okay.
Okay, so we just
Sure.
focus so that we're aware of what the question is that's being answered. And at the end, you'll name an action that you're ready to take from this conversation.
Okay.
Alrighty? Do you have a question to start with?
My question is, when the baby is born in May, originally our plan before we got pregnant was to potentially move to Taiwan for a couple of years, and the question is, how will we incorporate the now new development of a newborn baby into that dream scenario?
Great. Can you talk for, I don't know, like a minute or so, just a bit of background, and then when you're done with the background, either of us can ask the first question.
Okay. So Michael and I decided probably 18 months ago that we were going to think about moving overseas for a little while, and we had talked about having children, but for whatever reason nothing had happened, so we just kind of decided, well, let's just go travelling and see what happens, see what we find. And along the way we got pregnant, so we hadn't really factored that into the big plan in a sort of concrete way. So now it's sort of more of a reality, and it warrants thinking about. Yeah.
Sure. So your question is how to incorporate the new baby into...
Moving to Taiwan, dream scenario.
Great, great.
So, yeah.
Who has the first question? What kind of things come up as concerns with you now that need to be incorporated?
I guess without a baby, things seemed perhaps to be a bit easier in terms of acquiring accommodation. We're a bit more flexible as a couple than I think we'll be able to be with a child. I don't think the employment front is probably that much more different with a child, given that Michael's an artist and can work different hours. But I think the accommodation situation, and then how long will we stay abroad as expats? Do we need to start thinking about schooling, immersion schooling, or will the baby have the same Western benefits in Taiwan as it will have back home? It just sort of introduces a whole new raft of questions, I suppose, about an expatriate lifestyle in Taiwan.
So I kind of heard the three. Can I just read back to you the three I heard?
Yeah.
So one is concerns accommodation, schooling, and Western benefits.
Yeah.
Any others you can think of?
No, not really. I mean, Michael and I are positive. We're quite adaptable, and we're thinking positively about the move. So the way I feel about it is that as long as you feel positive about something, you can pretty much overcome anything. But it's kind of like the really sort of concrete things that I don't really know anything about to do with raising children at all, least of all in a foreign country.
Are any other things coming to mind to you? It's like your face suggested there's maybe other topics.
There's also the issue of being away from family with a newborn. Whereas I don't think... I mean, the family obviously misses us being away anyway, but I think it's probably compounded if there's a child involved.
Would you be surprised if your whole family came over to visit, like the first year?
Oh no, not at all. I'd hope they would. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess my question is, where do I start?
Where do you start?
There's obviously a lot of information out there. It's been really helpful being able to speak to you and other people in Taiwan about what it's like living here. And that's a really great resource as well. So it's not a complete unknown. We've visited a few different places, and so it's a bit of a known entity on some levels, but yeah, it's just this really big thing at the moment.
Question. What do you need to know the answer to now?
But I guess at the same time I'm projecting what I think the conversation's going to be like, and that's not necessarily what it's going to be like. So
it's a good time to take a break, and it's also a good time to keep going.
Okay.
What do you feel like doing right now? Assess how we're doing, or...
I'm happy to assess how we're doing.
Okay, let's stop then and just do a little assessment.
Okay.
In our process, to help you gain clarity on this question, how are we doing? Okay, not okay?
I think we're doing okay, but I'm not sure if I'm sticking to the topic.
Okay, so
I think there's a lot going on, and
Good.
I'm finding it hard to focus on the one point because it's hard not to feel overwhelmed by all the different interrelationships with all the different issues, I think.
Good. So I'd also say okay. On a scale of 0 to 10, like 10 is like magnificent. What score? Each of us come up with a score. How have we been doing?
I think if it was a brainstorming activity, I think we'd be doing really well because we're getting a lot of. But if it's something that we have to narrow our focus on, not so well. So probably 5, 6, maybe.
I had an 8 in my mind.
Okay.
So yeah. What have we been doing well? I think we touched on, we're touching on these big areas, like they're coming up quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other things we're doing well?
Well, we're flagging a lot of issues, and that this is a really big. This isn't just one issue. This is a whole. And I don't think there's going to be one singular answer to, because it's not one question really. It's a whole big thing, really.
So the next round of question and answer, what might we do differently to help us get to this point where you have an action?
Have a more focused question, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
This brings us to the next question. Do we think that, in our opinion, do we both have the same image of what question is being answered now? Your big question.
No, possibly not.
Yeah, I think not. So here's what we do then. You take a piece of paper and I take a piece of paper.
Okay.
And write the question you now think you are answering. And I'll write the question that I now think you're really answering.
Okay.
Use intuition, use anything. Like I think Noni's real question is. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, my question. I think Noni's real question is, how do I move into a relationship with both Michael's and my families such that I feel at ease and confident about what's coming up?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I give that to you as a gift. And what's your question?
I wrote, how do I broach the subject with family of Michael and I returning to Taiwan to live after the baby is born?
Okay. So now's the next question and answer. I'd like to know which are, now that you've seen both of these, what feels spot on for you?
I like this one.
Like,
yes.
what's your question?
Okay.
What would you say now is the juiciest question?
The juiciest question is your question.
Make it yours.
How do I move into a relationship with both Michael and my families such that I feel at ease and confident about what's going on.
Ooh.
Or what's coming up.
Oh.
What's coming up.
Yeah, mine. At ease and confident.
Yes. So I like this because obviously my relationship will change with my parents and with Michael's family. I'm moving into the role of motherhood. They're moving into the role of grandparenthood.
Aunts, uncles, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess in the past, things have just sort of shifted, but perhaps not shifted in a really great way. And maybe this is an opportunity to move things maybe into a more healthy realm, with intention and with purpose, rather than just letting things happen and then not being happy with the result. And this is an opportunity for me also to be a little bit more assertive about how I would like things to be, and not just always sort of reverting into the child of the relationship, being more sort of on an equitable footing. We're both adults. We're actually both now mothers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you have any images of how that might work?
No.
Would you like some
Absolutely,
images?
yes, I would, please.
I don't have a clue either. Role play. Okay, so some questions for the image. Where do you see this? What do you imagine is the first step in that will be different? Now that you have this image, where's the first place you see that it might
I think
come out differently?
It has to come from me because I think historically my position has been defensive, and that's what I mean when I say reverting back into the child role. So I need to be able to find a way to communicate without getting upset.
Oh.
Yeah, and when people say things to me that I disagree with, being able to take that on board and then being able to respond without getting all anxious and shaky hands and without the adrenaline all pumping, and be able to have that adult conversation.
Oh.
Yeah.
What key parts of that did you hear?
I don't know.
I heard someone here.
Okay.
So I heard from defensive to something else.
Assertive.
Assertive. Yeah. So you're leading.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a key thing I heard.
Okay.
As you spoke. Also, I heard this high body awareness. That actually your body guides you. And so it might be used as a tool. You can try things in your body. It sounds like it gives you very immediate feedback on how how it feels. And so you've got that as a little indicator. You can actually use it. It's okay, I did plan X and it doesn't feel so good. Let's do plan Y. It's ooh, that feels good. Because it feels like you go into your body to find the way you told the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I find sometimes it's a barrier to being able to communicate. There are things that I want to say, but I get shaky and my voice shakes. And then to overcompensate for that, people might see me as getting aggressive or getting passionate, or my voice goes higher, and I'm conscious of all these things happening, but I don't know how to just take that breath and pause and then collect my thoughts and then respond. I feel that a response needs to be immediate.
Immediate.
And not having that time to be able to reflect and actually form what I want to say results in me just blurting something out and getting all flustered about it. And then I feel, and to me that's quite defensive, because it's not yes, I feel like it's not in my. I'm not in control of that response.
Huh. I
Yeah.
have a question.
Okay.
How might Michael be brought on board as a teammate in this new dynamic?
How? I don't know, because
I have a question. It's a
okay.
good time. Is he around? Do you imagine that he would be present at times like this?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 In my mind, I saw him there, and like it's like,
Yeah.
he might. How
Yeah.
might he be brought on
Yeah.
board as a teammate?
Yeah. Well, I've spoken to him about how I feel about certain things, but at the same time, I'm still projecting what I think certain conversations are going to be like.
Oh.
So in a way, I'm imagining confrontation at the moment.
Oh.
And Michael can tell when I'm doing that defensive because he can hear it in my voice, so we generally try and change the topic because I get upset about something that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
Something in the future that probably may not even happen.
Yeah.
But for me, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like I want to have every possible response ready for when things do happen so that I can go click and then there's my answer there. But because I can't imagine what they're going to say, I can't really have every response. I can't be prepared, yeah.
So I have a question. So, okay, can I tell you what I'm hearing?
Yes.
I'm hearing like, right, you just said imagining into the future, and I'm hearing an opportunity for something, just little things to happen very quickly when you're thinking in the far future, just to take some kind of, like, what might you do very soon that would just dissipate that inner story, just like things that you've done to release the steam on a, just so that it doesn't build up. Little things you could do without waiting until that time.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. I mean, I have been told in the past that yoga would be very good, and I've tried yoga. But I guess it's just being able to sit and listen to someone saying things that I potentially disagree with, and rather than my temperature going up, I can just sit there and take it all in, process it, and then have time to formulate my response, and then just say it quite calmly and just without rising to it, I suppose. And I don't think I'm not sure if I know what the tools are for that.
So it sounds like the way it's working out now, it kind of comes in as a threat. So you said, like, as an immediate sense.
Yeah.
It's like it feels somehow like threatening, something that needs to be dealt with that instant.
Yeah, and I think that my adrenaline response is because where the shakes come from, or the shaky voice. Yeah, I do. Yeah. It can feel threatening, and I guess also because, especially thinking about this particular scenario, it's almost a threat. The way I perceive it will probably be a threat to what I would like to do. So what we would like to do is go to Taiwan with our baby, and if there's some form of emotion around that, emotional response from families about that, then I'm concerned that we're not going to be able to have a proper discussion about how everyone's feeling, in a healthy way, without everyone getting upset and leading to tears for one or more members of the family.
I just got a sentence. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
Hey guys, anything might happen between now and then. But we just thought we'd let you know we're in love with the idea of coming back to Taiwan with the baby, and we're hoping you guys will all visit.
Cool. I like it. Yeah. That's a really great way to start the conversation. And I guess that's the whole point. Yeah, just getting the conversation started in a non-threatening way.
So, Noni, it looks like you've got the action for this, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, so what is your action?
The action is to proactively raise the subject with family and let them know that we've had a really great time in Taiwan and that we are seriously thinking about returning to Taiwan after the baby is born. Nothing's set in stone, so just reassure them that it's an ongoing idea, and that we'd really like to find out how people might feel about if we made that decision to come back.
Good. Do you have a sense of when that might happen?
It could happen in the next couple of weeks. We Skype Michael's family probably once a week. It's been a couple of weeks since we have. So we probably might Skype them this weekend. But I'd like to speak to Michael first and get some sort of sense of how we're going to do this together as a team.
Lovely. Would you let me know when you do?
Yes.
Because I know.
Yeah.
Great. So you've got your action. You'll know exactly when it's happened. It'll probably be a Skype call soon. You'll talk to Michael first, and it'll just happen in the next couple of weeks sometime.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Were these questions and answers, this process, helpful?
Oh, absolutely.
How so?
Well, before this whole process, I wasn't even sure what the question was. It was just sort of this big thing, sort of in the future that I was making up stories about. And through this process, we've been able to sort of distill it, narrow it into a single focus, and it now feels not so daunting. Now it feels like that this is something I can be proactive about, and it's just a conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
Okay.